everyone, my name is Meryl and this is the second video in a little series in collaboration with Cape Town Music Academy. The focus of the series is music technology, and in the first one we talked about why technology is important if you're a musician. So today I'd like to talk about a question I've been asked hundreds of times. How do I start? It is overwhelming when you first decide that you want to get into music technology. There's so much information out there. There's so many software programs. There's so many people doing so many different things. So the trick is to figure out, where do you fit in? You're just a beginner. So I suppose the first place to start with would be your questions. What are the questions that you have? What do you want to do? Do you want to record yourself? Do you want to write music? Do you want to be able to produce? Do you want to live stream? Write down a few questions that are most important to you and your needs. So think about this carefully. Don't try to do what other people are doing. It doesn't matter. This is not about them, it is about what you want to do. So I suppose the first and most accessible way to do this, particularly at the moment, is to Google some answers. But Googling can also be a daunting task. There's so much information out there and you can spend days trawling the internet and not find what you're looking for. So one of the first things to do is to be very specific when you type something into the Google search bar. Don't just type in music technology, because you're not going to necessarily find what you need. Type in, I want to record myself, for instance. Another tip to use is to use quotation marks and type an entire question into the search bar. You can also easily compare two different things by, for instance, typing in, I want to record myself using analog versus digital technology, and you may end up with results that are more specific. Another good place to start from is to look for forums. So there are hundreds of different forums and many of them are very good. I can perhaps suggest two that are good to start with if you're looking for good, solid, professional advice on music and music technology. The first one is Sound on Sound. It used to be a magazine. It is now online, and many industry professionals are on the site, commenting on the site, working in the forums, addressing questions, asking questions from each other, and answering questions to people who are just beginners. It is a wonderful community and you get good, solid, accurate information. Another one of those is called gearsluts.com, and again, the information is tried and tested, and the community is made up of people who are in the music industry community, who have experience, and there are well-known sound engineers in the forums on Gearsluts. Another good way is to ask questions. So, of course, you can ask these questions to people in the forums. I've had people answer questions from unexpected places. I've emailed people who I thought would never reply, and they did. It is amazing what people will reply to if you do ask the question. There are no stupid questions. There are no ignorant questions, and most people who work in music technology are extremely happy and generous with their knowledge, and they're happy to share it. So ask them. Finally, the last one is to experiment a little. So once you have some information and you have a rough idea of where you could start, maybe what kind of software you could try, or maybe what type of techniques you could start with, experiment, but do so cautiously. You don't have to own a studio in order to record yourself well if you're starting out. Don't rush out and buy every piece of equipment you could find when you're beginning. Try things that you can do with what you have, or if you need to buy something, do careful research before you invest in your first piece of equipment. But if you have a computer with a microphone and some speakers, try to do this anyway. If you have a phone with a microphone and speakers, try some techniques out on the device that you have. Download free software programs, even if the trial is only for 30 days, because you get a feel for the software and you can kind of work out, do I like using the software? Is it the right fit for me, or is there something else out there that I would prefer working with? Experimentation is a big part of it. You don't have to spend too much time working on a software program to realize or figure out whether you like this interface, whether you like working with it. And if it's not the one for you, that's okay. There are others. There will always be another one that you could replace it with. I've never been somebody who's particularly loyal to a particular type of software brand or hardware. There are all sorts of different pieces of equipment and different software programs out there. And the best one is the one that is the best fit for you. Everyone has a different workflow, a different way of doing things. And it's best to find a piece of equipment or a piece of software that suits that style of working for you. Thanks for listening.